Pack ice.
That's right. Is that new business?
One of them that they.
That's new business.
Yeah.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I of the Going forward. The silence. Thank you.
This time we'd ask for any citizens' input for the agenda items only. Hearing none, we'll move on. A motion is needed to approve and dispense with the reading of the Commissioners' public meeting minutes of Tuesday, February 4th, 2020.
Make the motion?
Second. Joe, you have a second? No, I said, is there a second?
Yeah, I got a second.
All right. On the question, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
A motion is needed to pay all county and liquid fuel payrolls as submitted by the Human Resource Office for payroll number 3 in the amount of $823,785.42 and payroll number 4 in the amount of $837,744.31.
Make the motion?
Second.
On the question, all in favor, state aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
A motion is needed to pay all county and liquid fuel bills as submitted by the county controller in the amount of $3,685,242 from February 1st, 2020 to February 29th, 2020.
Make the motion?
Second.
On the question, all in favor, state aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Announcements. A work session will be held on Tuesday, March 17th, 2020, beginning at 10 a.m. in the Commissioners' Conference Room, St. Patty's Day. Next regular public meeting will be held Tuesday, April 7th, 2020, at 1 p.m. in the Administration Center, 399 Stadium Drive, Sunbury, Pennsylvania. A motion is needed to approve the employee status sheet list of new hires, individuals no longer employed, promotions, demotions, and transfers as items number 1 through 26.
Make the motion?
Second.
On the question, all in favor, state aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
A motion is needed for the Commissioners to sign the state tax equalization voucher for transfers of real estate for the month of January 2020, as submitted by the Assessment Office.
Motion?
Second.
On the question, all in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
A motion is needed to approve the following reports as listed on your public meeting agenda.
Make the motion?
Second.
On the question, all in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
A motion is needed to authorize payment of $250 to the City of Sunbury for rental property registrations.
Motion?
Second.
On the question, all in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
A motion is needed to appoint Judy Surak to the Northumberland County Industrial Development Authority to fill the unexpired term of Anthony Fiorenza for the term ending December 31st, 2022.
Motion?
Second.
On the question, all in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
A motion is needed to approve the payment of $200 to the Otterbon United Methodist Church for the maintenance of May Lake Cemetery located in Lola Augusta Township for several graves of veterans.
Motion?
Second.
On the question, all in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion is needed authorizing permission to advertise the following as submitted by the county engineer. A, request for bids for drainage improvements at County Bridge number 70. B, request for bids for superstructure replacement at County Bridge number 128. C, request for bids for leasing of 2 tracts of farmland located in Northumberland County.
Second.
On the question, all in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion is needed authorizing the chairman to sign the Integrated Disbursement and Information System IDIS online access request form relative to the county's federal CDBG program, allowing a CEDACOG staff person to access the county's IDIS funds. Ratification.
Motion?
Second.
On the question, all in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion is needed to ratify a letter to the Treasurer and Controller dated February 27, 2020, to the transfer of $25,000 from the general fund to Northumberland County Area Agency on Aging to cover accounts payable until funds are reimbursed from the state.
Make the motion?
Second.
On the question, all in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion is needed to authorize the chairman to execute an engagement letter with Eckhart Siemens Charon Malo LLC to have the firm represent the County of Northumberland, specifically in regard to the disposition of proceeds derived from the sale of portion of Northumberland County's South Campus.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
On the question, all in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
A motion is needed to appoint the following individuals to Northumberland County Land Bank Authority. Joseph Claybon to a term ending December 31st, 2022. Ned Sodrick to a term ending December 31st, 2024.
Motion.
I'll second it. On the question, all in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
A motion is needed to approve the following honorary letters. Birthdays: Walter F. Fiddler Jr., 99th birthday from Shamokin, Pennsylvania, and Margaret K. Snyder, 100th birthday, Shamokin, Pennsylvania.
Motion.
Second.
On the question, I have something to say on the question. Mr. Fiddler, who is going to be turning 99, actually was my boss back when I was in high school and college for the city of Shamokin. I was the grass cutter. And I just want to say, Mr. Fiddler, who has been a friend of mine since probably 1970, I'm not that old though, guys, but since 1970 when I worked there, was one of the most gentle, nice people I ever met. And I know he's not doing too good right now, but he is going to be turning 99, and he's a special person. And I just want to recognize and say that he meant a lot to me when I worked and was trying to get through high school and college, and he just was a good guy, and I just would like that for the record. Okay? All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
A motion is needed authorizing travel requests and attendance at the following workshop seminars as in accordance with the county's personal manual travel reimbursement policy as listed on your public meeting agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
On the question, all in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Solicitor's report?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion to adopt Resolution R11-20, lease agreement between the Northumberland County Commissioners and Central Susquehanna Opportunities located at 2 East Arch Street, Shamokin, Pennsylvania.
Motion.
Second.
On the question, all in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution R12-20, lease agreement between the Northumberland County Development Corporation and Lewis Township Recreation Committee for providing recreation and athletic activities for area citizens.
Motion.
Second.
On the question, all in favor, state aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution R13-20, contract agreement between McKissick Associates P.C. and the County of Northumberland for the purpose of identifying scope and future rehabilitation and repair projects within the courthouse building. Ratification.
Motion.
Second.
On the question, and I think before we go on and vote, maybe Justin and Carl, who both were involved in the study that we did, maybe one of you would, or both of you, whatever, would like to come up and speak. Justin, you'd like to come up, right?
Justin, is that on?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm just going to introduce Carl here. So just to give a bit of background, in 2019, we secured a PHMC grant to hire McKissick Associates to do a rehabilitation study of the building, and we have now had the report, so I'm going to introduce Carl Kanaski here from McKissick Associates to talk about it.
Thank you. I am Carl Kanaski with McKissick Associates Architects from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We just completed the assemblance of a report that was submitted to the Pennsylvania Historic and Museum Commission as part of our assessment of looking at the present conditions of the courthouse building. We have evaluated numerous things requiring rehabilitation, restoration. Many of the historic elements in the building, including masonry, bell tower, windows, repainting, some of the interior repairs required as well. An overview of that, we also, in order to create our report, like the county to know, we had completed a three-dimensional scanning of the entire building. We have created a photographic record, and it's also like a three-dimensional model, which we had recorded that data back in January, which then, as part of our process, we used that information in demonstrating the present conditions to the PHMC as well. So that's a fairly complete process. We've also outlined, in addition to the basic building systems, or I should say the basic building systems, their current state being the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems. We've evaluated those conditions as well, had made a series of outlined recommendations as well as some potential costs. Not all are an immediate necessity to be addressed, but we've outlined them as should the county have certain needs or want to do things with the building over time, that certain maybe code upgrades or other individual things have to be done simultaneously with one versus the other. So if any other further questions, I'm here.
I just would like to add that this was a grant that I think Justin applied for that was basically a free study of the building. We all know that our next project here is going to be the courthouse, and we did go around with some of the people who were doing the study a couple times into the courthouse, and again, I'm looking forward to seeing these pictures they took and things. But at least now we have a list of what will need to be done, and we will start looking for a project manager or someone to control this project and maybe put an order of things that need to be done right away and things that, so we have an order of how to attack it. But I want to thank, I think the report was sent out yesterday. I didn't get a chance to read it yet, but I'm sure it's very detailed and it's going to give us a lot of help. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yep.
I just had the chance to send it to the three commissioners as they were tied up in the last meeting, but it's very thorough, very informative, and just the thing we need for a later resolution, so.
It will make once we're hopefully finished, it will keep our courthouse up for another 100 and whatever years there is to go.
100.
Thank you. We look to, if there's any further evaluation with that initial report, we, work through and outline it further, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, yeah.
So that was on the question. So all in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Motion to adopt Resolution R14-20, amendment to the Food Service Partnership Agreement with Summit Food Services LLC, doing business as CBM Managed Services, on behalf of the prison and the Northumberland County Board of Commissioners for adjusting the cost of inmates' meals. This is a ratification.
Motion.
Second.
The question? All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution R15-20, Keystone Grant Agreement between the Pennsylvania Historic and Museum Commission and the Northumberland County Commissioners to allow a feasibility study and plan for the rehabilitation of the Northumberland County Courthouse. Is ratification.
Motion.
Second.
The question? All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution R16-20, sub-award agreement between the County of Northumberland and Institute for Governmental Research, IIR, in the rural responses to the opioid epidemic demonstration project for the purpose of addressing prescription drugs and opioid misuse, saving lives and reducing crime. Is a ratification.
Motion.
Second.
The question? All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution R17-20, amendment to contract agreement between the Commissioners of Northumberland County on behalf of the Election Office and Election Systems and Software LLC, known as ES&S, for 2 Model DS200 scanners. This is ratification.
Motion.
Second.
The question? All in favor, state aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution R18-20, grant agreement between Northumberland County and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, acting through Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency for the awarding of funding for the Northumberland County GIS Data Development Project and CSR 911 Northumberland CAD Maintenance Project.
Motion.
Second.
The question? All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution R19-20, contract agreement between the County of Northumberland on behalf of the 911 Department and Montour County through its agency, East Central Emergency Network, ECEN, for handling 911 calls in Riverside Borough and Rush Township.
Motion.
Second.
On the question? All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt Resolution R20-20, resolution of the Board of Commissioners of the County of Northumberland, Pennsylvania, the county directing amounts derived from the sale of real property acquired with federally tax-exempt debt previously incurred by the county for alternative use, describing the projects for which said debt of the county was originally incurred, describing the alternative use of disposition proceeds, specifying the realistic estimated useful life of said projects, authorizing and directing the officers and officials of the county to execute and deliver documents and to take action as may be necessary relating thereto, authorizing the payment of fees and expenses, repealing inconsistent resolutions and ordinances, confirming the prior ordinance, and providing when this resolution shall become effective.
The motion.
Second.
On the question, we have, because it's hard for all of us to understand that, so Joe Pierce is here to explain basically what that's all about.
Good afternoon, Commissioners, and thank you. As you mentioned, I'm Joe Pierce with Eckert Stevens, and I'm here with my colleague Laura Kurtz, who actually did the yeoman's work on getting this all together and getting the resolution up here for today's meeting. This directly relates to Resolution 1320 because the impact of what this Resolution 2020 will do has a direct impact on the initial step of the courthouse. The resolution in its recitals goes back to the history of the 2017 bond issue, which is a rather large size, which is used to acquire and build acquire the site for the new prison and to build the new prison. As part of that, as the prison was coming to a conclusion as far as construction, a parcel of about 10 acres was sold off to a private non-government entity, and that resulted in the county receiving proceeds of about $1.5 million. The 2017 bonds were issued as tax-exempt obligations under the Internal Revenue Code, and once that property was sold and those proceeds were received, the Internal Revenue came back into play with respect to how those monies were to be used. And the county was confronted with and we call those proceeds, once they came back to the county for the sale, we call those disposition proceeds, because that's what the tax code regulations call them. It's based on the disposition of an asset purchased with tax-exempt debt. And so that's how we refer to them in this resolution, and as we have over many discussions. So basically the county has two options. They can either put that money in an escrow fund to pay off 2017 bonds in the future, or they could use that for another capital project. And so this resolution identifies the project to be the courthouse improvements. And what the importance of the work that the McKissick and the county did is that it has given you a definitive outline, a booklet of what has to be done, as the chairman said, and therefore from that list you can pick the items that need the most attention or that most efficiently use that $1.5 million. So once out of the recitals and into the body of the resolution, you are agreeing to that this will be what the county is going to do with that what we refer to as the courthouse project, pardon me, will be the purpose that these monies will be used for. And this will create a record that if the IRS ever audited the county's 2017 bonds, we could show them that we received these disposition proceeds and we handled them and used them in a proper manner. And it does commit you to use them for this purpose. But of course, no one knows the future. So going forward, if I'll interject here that the county has, as you recall, 2 years from the date of receipt of those, which Frank was December 20th of 2019. So you have 2 years from that date, or December 20th of 2021, to spend those proceeds down. And I think my looking at the proposal that the McKissick provided, that shouldn't be terribly hard to do. So if in fact the county finds that it cannot expend those proceeds in that time period, then we would have to revert back to the escrowing of whatever amount hasn't been spent. And then they would sit in escrow until I think sometime in 2027, because that's when the 2017 bonds are callable. And with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll answer any questions commissioners may have.
Just
Yes.
clarification for press and everybody that will read the press. Can you just explain in layman's terms to folks why we don't take this extra money and pay down debt or reduce their taxes or, things of that nature?
Well, yes, Commissioner, I will do my best, and I can certainly talk to the media afterwards. But the proceeds, the county issued the 2017 proceeds $30 million, and included in that, and part of that was used to acquire the what's called the South Campus property, the real estate, and the improvements on it. And that then became that whole facility and the prison itself became a facility financed with tax-exempt debt. Meaning, and what tax-exempt debt means, and please interject anytime, what that means is those holders of those bonds do not have to pay federal income tax on the interest that the county pays to them. So the Congress and the IRS, they have a very important role to play in how those proceeds are used. And so when you sell an asset that you use to buy, that you use tax-exempt proceeds to purchase, and before its useful life is over, you turn around and sell it, then the tax code says you have to use those in accordance with as if you had never spent that money and they are now still available to you. So you have to use them for a proper capital project. And that's why they can't go into the general fund, they can't go into the debt service reserve fund, or any place else other than the capital project fund for the 2017 bonds until they're expended.
So pretty much, Joe, we had tax-exempt property up at the South Campus. We sold 10 acres off for $1.5 million. That either had to go back to pay off some of the bond or could go into another capital project. We have one because of the courthouse, so we are moving it to there. We have until December of 2021 to use that money in the courthouse. Instead of paying a bond off and maybe having to get a loan again to do the courthouse, we can do it this way, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, Joe? So that was on the question. So all in favor state aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt resolution R21-20, Commissioner's Budget Amendment as listed.
Motion?
Second.
On the question? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adopt resolution R22-20, Agreements, Amendments, Revisions, Grants, Leases, and Reports between the Northumberland County Commissioners on behalf of the Human, Senior, and Social Services and the named service providers as listed, numbers 1 through 17. The above agreements, amendments, revisions, grants, leases, and reports are not with county employees, nor does their organizational contract list county employees as principals in their corporation or on their board of directors.
Make the motion.
Second.
On the question? All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Are you going to read this letter now? Yes. Let me talk. Okay, first, old business, and I just want to say that, I don't know, the last meeting I think we had here, we always do these things that the commissioners sign and proclamations or 100th, like 99th birthday, 100th birthday today. Well, I think it was the last meeting we did a proclamation or whatever for a veteran who passed away. And when we delivered it, they wrote a very nice letter. And I think, we always see the bad letters. Well, this came back, and on the bottom, the person actually stated that they wouldn't mind if it would be read at a meeting. And I just thought it would be a good time for maybe some good press, and because we don't get that much. And I'd like Mary Rose to read the letter from the veteran that passed away, and that we just did a little thing as presenting a proclamation, but I think it meant a lot to the family. Mary Rose?
Dear Commissioners, there are times, as you know all too well, that people go through very difficult times in their lives. Our family completely understands how overwhelmed all government offices are, but regardless of the workload, you, our commissioners, took the time to recognize a fallen veteran from the ranks and citizens of Northumberland County. Mr. Samuel Chicatano personally delivered your recognition letter with incredible thoughtfulness, honor, and respect to our family for our late brother, Keith L. Harden. This act of kindness will not be forgotten by our family and has meant so much to us all. It is apparent to our family that all of the commissioners are devoted government officials and you give your hearts to your jobs. Thank you for recognizing our late brother during this very difficult time. Your kindness and concern for our family means a great deal to us. We appreciate all the support you've extended to us during this period of sadness. Finally, we would be honored if you'd wish to read our letter at your next stated meeting to the public. Our citizens should hear our praise and learn that our commissioners in Northumberland County do care, and it shows. Respectfully, Mark A. Harden, twin brother of Keith Harden, the Harden-Tomaney families.
I thought that was something that, we should share, and since they asked us to share, but I don't think any of us know the family, so it's not like this was a setup. It was not, but I just wanted to recognize that. Is there any other old business? Okay, under new business, Joe has an announcement about the 911.
Since this Board of Commissioners took office a few months ago, we've been discussing different departments, meeting on different things and looking on how we can make improvements and issues that are coming up, and obviously there's a lot of work to do. We have a lot of great employees in the county doing an outstanding job, but there's always room for improvement in certain areas, and we're vigilant of that. We're going to do our best to get some of those things straightened out. One of the things is the 911 EMA department, which should come under the public safety department, which it does. But at this present time, we do not have a public safety director, and we feel there's a definite need for that. Basically, it's like we have a ship out there with no captain, so to speak. We want to get somebody that's going to be in charge of this department and be in charge of EMA and 911 and make sure it's operating efficiently in the way it should. And there's someone that's going to be in charge of that can take the bull by the horn, so to speak, and take care of what needs to be taken care of. So we're coming up with a job description on that, and at next month's meeting, I believe we'll have it ready. We'll be posting for a public safety director. Okay?
We just want to make sure that the public knows that we've been working on that, and that once that's all put together, we will be putting something out as a job description. And Karen, I think from now on, we still have that 3-minute rule in effect. When Joe speaks, please start the timer.
That applies for the public, not for me.
Wasn't that 3 minutes? I'm sorry.
Wasn't 3 minutes.
That wasn't 3. I can talk about some other things.
Listen, just so you guys, Joe, you don't know, me and Joe are very good friends from back when we were little kids, so I'm only...
I think you should get a name tag, though.
Doesn't he have one?
Oh, no.
Oh, gosh.
Money in the budget.
He'll want a golden one. All right.
That's okay. That's all right.
The other thing I just want to mention, too, because we want to be transparent with everybody as far as economic development. Justin's in charge of that whole department right now. We are looking and still searching for either outsourcing or someone to head the economic department, and that's something that I think will happen within the next few weeks, and probably something will be on the agenda the next meeting. But I'd like to let everyone out there know that if there's anyone who would like to come and meet with us about economic development, maybe a company that would be able to handle it outsourcing. We have met with some, but we want to gather all the information we can before we make this decision. And again, we want to be transparent so everybody knows we're not doing nothing, that we shouldn't be doing. And I think this is the way to do it. And we're not in a hurry, and that's why, we only came into office in January, and it's March 1st, so it's 2 months. So we have been looking into things, and I think within the next month, these 2 things will be settled. So
Justin's not going anywhere.
No.
He takes care of more of our internal grant writing for all of our departments, and of course, capital projects like the courthouse and things like that. What we're looking for is for people to help us, a company or an entity, to help us develop planning and economic development on the exterior of the county. So things like Celotex, things like that.
Okay, is there anything else, new business? Okay, there, public input? No one? Okay, then I have a motion to adjourn.
May-
Second.